Good afternoon. And thank you very much, Robert, for that very kind introduction. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you and all of the service you performed this year on behalf of the Dallas Bar Association in this very challenging time. My special thanks to the Dallas Bar Association and the Texas Center for Ethics and Professionalism for this award. It's almost incomprehensible to me that I would be receiving an award named after a man that I have most admired as a lawyer all during my legal career. I was very fortunate to have met Mr. Harrell in 1974 on one of my first trips to the Dallas Bar Association's headquarters. And I learned about him and of him and from him for many years. And one of the wonderful things about him was that not only was he a terrific lawyer and a very, very accomplished practitioner, but he had such an ethic of service to not only the Dallas Bar, but also to 4 other bar associations that he became president of. It's almost inconceivable when you think about it that one person could lead 5 different bar associations that were diverse and all across the country and be the president of all of them. Not only did that take an enormous amount of time, but it was all time that he volunteered. And it was a service that he performed because he thought he owed it to the profession and because he thought the profession would be better for it. And for that, all of us, Dallas lawyers and Texas lawyers, owe him a great deal of gratitude for the example that he set and for the service that he performed to make our profession and our bar associations better. You know, you can only need to look at the list of all the prior recipients of this award to understand what an absolute honor it is to receive it. Because as I cast my eye over the list, I see people who have been my mentors, my friends, my colleagues, many of them my opponents in lawsuits, and I am awed by their contribution to our profession and to their contribution to the bar, but more importantly, to their service to the betterment of our association while maintaining those very, very high standards of ethics, civility, and professionalism. One of the things that I have learned in my years as a lawyer is that ethics, civility, and professionalism are not inherited traits. They are not blessings we receive at birth. They're not something that are awarded to us as we progress. They are disciplines that we must learn. They are disciplines that we must practice every day. And we must practice them with every contact that we make, whether it's with a family member, a friend, a neighbor, a colleague, an adversary, or an opponent. It is incumbent upon us as well to remember that part of our responsibility as lawyers and advocates is to listen and be willing to engage others on their thoughts, their views, and their feelings. You know, one of the things that we need to remember as we go forward in our practices is that people are always going to disagree with us about things. Nothing is ever going to be particularly easy in the jobs in the adversarial way that we have to perform them. But just because we are adversaries and just because we have to advocate strongly for our position does not mean that that can do a disservice to our greater responsibility to our profession and to our civil society as a whole to conduct ourselves as ethical, responsible, and professional lawyers. You know, Justice David Souter, who sat on the United States Supreme Court for almost 2 decades, retired on June the 29th of 2009. And on that day, just before he left the bench for the very last time, he read a letter in open court that told his colleagues what it meant to him to be on the court and to work with them on the numerous cases they had heard. It was also a letter that was read to all in attendance on that day and to lawyers who had practiced before the court. In that letter, there is a phrase contained in a larger sentence, but it's that specific phrase that really encapsulates all the things that we do or should do as lawyers. Very simple phrase, very simple concept. The phrase was, we have agreed or contended with one another over those things that matter most to decent people in a civil society. And isn't that, in fact, the essence of what we do? We are engaging with each other over those things that matter most to us. And it's our responsibility to do that and conduct that in the most civil and professional way that we know how. So I am very, very grateful and beyond words thankful for this award. It means more than I can ever explain. And I will remember this day and this award for all of my life. And as I go forward professionally from this day, I hope that I will always conduct myself in such a way to honor the spirit of this award and to also bring honor to the man for which it was named. Thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity, and may you all be well and successfully navigate these very, very challenging times. Thank you.